I'd like to tell you a little bit about my experience with God and how I met Him. I was raised in a Christian home, good Christian mother. My father was a practicing Bible man. He read it every week for sure, maybe not every day, and was raised in a church. When you get to be a teenager, sometimes you decide you want to do something different. It was too stressful. It was too many do's and don'ts. And so my father was the type of person that once we got of age, I'd say about 16 or so, that we could do as we pleased. And so then I lived my life for myself. And I even ended up getting married. I married a Christian woman. And God was important in our life, but He wasn't first in our life. We didn't go to church together. Church was for funerals or weddings, special occasions. But as life went along and I went farther and farther into the world doing things that I knew better, had been raised different, the verse always came to my mind and still does, Proverbs 22:6, where it says, raise up a child in the way he should go and he won't get far from it. My grandfather died when I was about 20, and I started understanding in my mind that I can't and won't be here forever. And it frightened me. I lived my whole life praying things like, Lord, let me at least live till deer season. Let me at least live to do this. Let me see my little girl go to school. And I just kept sailing through life, doing as I pleased, until one day I started having problems in the family. I was wrapped up in working all the time. And so I knew that I needed to do something different. I had actually got so hateful that I had decided to take someone else's life. And but the more I thought about it, uh, there was something in the back of me, and I believe it's that what we talked about in Proverbs, where you raise a child the way he should go. I went to mental health, and the lady told me there at mental health that that was a normal thought process for a human. And that's the moment I knew that I had to do something different. And the only other place to turn when you get so low is turn to God. And so I came back to church. The very first day, I wasn't happy about being here. I cried. I didn't want to be here, but there was something about the peace that came being in the presence of God. And so I knew that this was the way uh, to make my life easier for me. It wasn't so much about pleasing God as it was making my life easy. But as I've studied, as I've continued on my walk with the Lord, I have been so blessed. I believe that He is taking care of me and my family, and I believe that He is the only answer to our problems here on this earth. We do have to work with Him, but I do believe that we can achieve many great things with God on our side. I think that God is the most important thing in my life right now. Even though I love my wife and my grandchildren and great grandchildren with all my heart, I want to love Jesus just as much or more. And I think it's important that we live by His commandments. I think it's important that we understand what He is and who He is and what He wants for us. And what He wants for us is eternal life, to not be bothered by sin and sorrow and by pain. He wants us to be happy eternally. And I have found that peace in my heart that I believe only God can give you. And I would just ask that you consider the same thing for yourself. You don't have to be a scholar. You can tell by my way I talk, I'm not a scholar. I'm not educated in the language of scholars. But I believe it's important that we choose God as our forefront, first thought issue in our life.